All right, everyone. So we have a heck of a week ahead of us. Again, the countdown to Legends of Runeterra is upon us, as well as now, actually, this will be the day after when you guys see this video. Galakrond's Awakening is upon us. So that's going to be released over the course of the next couple of weeks as well in different stages. And this is the first adventure that Hearthstone and Blizzard has done in a while. So we got a lot going on, a lot of new cards in Hearthstone on top of, new card games. So all in all, pretty good stuff, pretty fun stuff in the card game space right now. If you're new to the channel, my name is Justin, also known as Shit Just Works. And if you're looking for card game content, you are in the right place. So much going on in card games right now. This is primarily what this channel focuses on. This video in particular is actually going to be reviewing about a third of the new adventure, some of the cards they got. So we're going to be doing this in 3 parts. So hit that subscribe button so you can get notified when the other 2 videos go up. And without further ado, let's get into the review. So because the entire adventure is released, I am going to be giving star ratings from the get here. So first up, we're going to be doing the 3 Druid cards that we got. The first one is going to be Rising Winds. And so this one is interesting. When you look at comparing it with cards like Power of the Wild, Druid of the Saber, Wrath, I do think that the choose one effect is actually slightly weaker. Essentially, you're paying 4 mana to draw 2 if you choose to draw 1 card both times, which is good. Or you're paying 4 mana for a 6/4, which really isn't much of a benefit. It is alright. So for that reason, we're giving it a 3 out of 5. Next up is Steel Beetle, and I actually love this card. Literally the second I saw this card, I thought of Plated Beetle. And then I had flashbacks to Carnivorous Cube and all the cube lock and everything, and I wanted to kill myself. But that's besides the point. This is exactly what this card is trying to replicate here. It is only in Druid this time, not a normal creature. So this one does rely on you having a monster with 5 or more cost in your hand, which the Plated Beetle just had a Death Rattle effect, gain 3 armor. So you are getting a little bit more armor for having the added effect. I do think this could be tossed in, some sort of Druid deck that, synergizes with the whole 5 or more mentality. And overall, the card, is just pretty beefy as far as that's concerned. I mean, if you do get the 5 armor out of it, then you also have the 2/3 on the field. So maybe some sort of token deck that kind of takes, a few turns to ramp up a little bit. This will stall out, give you that extra 5 armor. So I am actually going to give this a 4 out of 5. All right, and the third card is Winged Guardian, and I'm not crazy about this card. I kind of think of Evasive Draconid as the first card that comes to mind, which is a 7/7. Very similar effect. It is taunt, and it can't be targeted by spells or hero powers. So it really doesn't do anything else but the Reborn. But the thing with the Reborn is it's an 8 health monster. So when it comes back, it's only coming back with 1 health, and I don't know how useful that would really be. Sure, you have 6 attack, but there's a reason why Magma Rager isn't played, and that's a 5/1. So I really don't think this card is that great, and we're going to give it a 2 out of 5. Hit the like button on the video if you like the video! All right, on to Hunter. So first one is Fresh Scent for Hunter, and I love the idea of the card, but we already had this in Dinomancy. Now, granted, Dinomancy's drawback was that you lose your hero power, if that even is a drawback, because if you're playing the type of deck that Dinomancy would be played in, you wouldn't even really need the hero power anyways, right? Dinomancy wasn't really ever played, and if it was, I don't think it was that great. This one, now, you really only get the effect twice, and you're taking up a card spot in your deck for it. I just don't think this is going to be played even in the 1 cost, hunter deck or quest hunter. So unfortunately, this one is getting the 1 out of 5. All right, and Chop Shop Copter is next. And all right, I do like that there's another mech for hunter. I like that they added another mech, but it's not really that great. Cybertech Chip comes to mind. It's basically a similar effect, except it gives all of your minions Death Rattle, which to me seems way better because it's a spell. This, you're paying 3 mana for a 2/4. That's just okay stats. It's nothing crazy. If this was like a 2/5, maybe it would be, more playable, but it just doesn't scream out as like an incredible card to me. So this one's going to get a 2 out of 5. Rottnest Drake. I am so excited for this card. The second that Descent of Dragons came out and I saw some of the dragons for Hunter, and then I thought about Emerus, right? The first thing I thought was they're slowly drizzling out these dragons for Hunter. And I think now we have the dragon card for Hunter that will allow Dragon Hunter to potentially be a thing, and that is Rottnest Drake. If you're holding a dragon, destroy a random enemy minion. You have Deadly Shot, which basically values that effect at 3 costs, which means you're getting a 6/5 creature on top of the Deadly Shot. You also have a real throwback to Stampeding Kodo, which was a 5 cost 3/5. That was only destroy a random enemy with 2 or less attacks, so that was obviously worse, but that was a beast. That used to get played all the time, though. I mean, that was back in the day, but that was seen to be a pretty good card. This obviously has an activator with the whole if you're holding a dragon thing. I mean, you're not going to play this unless it's in a dragon deck anyways. I think this is going to be really good. I think this also enables an entire deck type now that it's released. So we're giving it a 4 out of 5. All right, on to Mage. And honestly, one of these cards I love. So the first one is Arcane Amplifier. And the first thing, it's so unfortunate that this didn't get paired in Standard. But Koldara Drake, use your hero power as many times as you want. This plus that in Wild now, it just seems like a really fun deck idea. So this almost makes me a little bit want to play Wild. I typically don't play Wild. So for that reason, I love this card. And the other direct comparable card would be Fallen Hero, which is 2 costs. The thing is, this is like 10 times better than Fallen Hero. Nobody played Fallen Hero because of the stats. This has extra stats, so it costs 1 more, and it gets the extra stat boost of 2 extra health. But on top of that, you're also getting an extra damage out of the hero power. So I think this is much more powerful than Fallen Hero. I think this will definitely played, and I believe there will probably be an archetype built around this card as well. Animated Avalanche is up next, and I'm hoping this kind of spurs, elementals being a thing again in Mage. I'm not positive it will, but as just the card itself, this is a great card. I mean, essentially, you're getting a 14/12 for 7 cost if you play this card after an elemental was played, and that's insane. If you compare it to something like Blaze Caller and Stone Sentinel, which also require the elemental to have been played, this is way better. Blaze Callers deal 5 damage. This is summon a 7/6. 7/6 trumps the 5 damage by far. The Sentinel just summons the 2 additional tokens. The stats do not come anywhere close to this. And honestly, the direct comparison to this would be Tomb Warden, and this smokes Tomb Warden just for having the extra stats above it. This is a great card. I hope Elemental becomes a thing again. This is getting a 4 out of 5. The Amazing Reno. All right. It's getting a 4 out of 5. And the reason it's not getting a 5 out of 5 is because, so this basically has a Plague of Death, effect, which is great, which is an amazing, it's just really good. The hero power you get, I mean, you can look at it as an advantage, sure, but there's the potential for it to be a disadvantage. This is one of my problems I've always had with Hearthstone. It's a little too random for my liking, so the fact that there even is a little bit of drawback, I can't give a card 5 out of 5 if there's that much, if for the rest of the game you have to be doing random things. Now, like Yogg's Puzzle Box or something like that, that's a one-time card effect. Great, you're playing on the statistics of the card to play, random cards that are going to work out in your favor. This, literally, you're stuck with it for the rest of the game, so I can't give it a 5 out of 5. It's getting a 4 out of 5. All right, and we're going to do 3 of the normal cards in this first review. So the first one's going to be Licensed Adventurer, and I'm not crazy about this card. It's going to get a 2 out of 5, and really because, obviously, the first thing that comes to mind is Rogue. And sure, you could play this in, a multitude of other quest decks, but Rogue's really the only, class that's really going to take use of that coin and exploit it. Now, there may be some sort of deck that Gadget Zan Auctioneer could go back in, some sort of OTK. I don't know. There's some weird, fringe uses for this maybe, but because Rogue, the quest with Rogue doesn't really have anything to do with coins. It's Ancient Blade. It's a totally different archetype. I don't think you're going to see any play. So it's getting a 2 out of 5. Skydiving Instructor, I actually like. It's an interesting card. It brings back the whole 1-cost mechanic. I kind of hope some sort of, OTK or really quick deck with Bwansamdi comes out. just pulling a lot of one-cost minions from your deck. I don't know. I highly doubt it. There really isn't anything too competitive with that right now. There is also maybe some sort of Hunter Arcane Fletcher type deal with the one cost, with the Quest Hunter. I don't know, but those are all kind of wishful thinking. I don't really think they're good. I don't think they can be good. So we're going to give it a 3 out of 5 just because it makes you think. Makes you think about some other deck archetypes. But I don't think this will see a whole lot of play. And here we go. We got the one card that's getting the 5 out of 5. And that is Escaped Mana Saber. Now, weirdly enough, and maybe this is just me, the first card that comes to mind when I see this is Shade of Naxxramas. Now, I know it's a throwback. It's literally the second set of Hearthstone, right? When that card came out, it was broken. It was so bad, and I mean that in a good way. Like, it was terrible how great this card was. People would just let it chill on the field until it was 8-8, 9-9, and then they'd wreck with it. It makes me think of that in a similar light because you can have this chill on the field. And you'll have basically this one turn where you'll have an additional mana to kind of, go off or have some sort of OTK. So everybody knows I love OTK. We had that Galakrond Mechathune deck that I absolutely love that I'm determined to get to work. This might be something you could actually put in it. Other decks that might require 11 or 12 mana, to get off particular combos. So I do love the idea behind this card. I honestly don't. It might not get played at all. It really might not. But just the idea of it, what it could potentially enable, it gets people thinking. I think this is a really great card. Good on ya, Blizzard. I think this is much more balanced than Shade of Naxxramas as well. And it has just a awesome effect. All right, that's it. That's the first third. The next video is actually, we're going to Legends of Runeterra again because by the time you see the next video, it's going to be live. We're going to be able to play it. Cannot wait. In the meantime, I'm going to be playing a little bit of this adventure, try to get me some of these cards. The next chapter will roll out about a week after the first chapter and so on and so forth for the remainder of the chapters. So I'm going to be quite busy playing a lot of Hearthstone and a lot of Legends of Runeterra, and boy, am I excited. So until next time, I hope everybody has a fantastic day. Stay positive and peace out.